So hello, this is going to be a short video which is an introduction to computer programming. And really want this to be a general introduction, but as you know, there are different languages we can choose and to program a computer in. And so I'm going to have to use the language. So I'm going to use C. So this is going to be an introduction to computer programming in C. I'm not going to talk about why C, but except to say that C is something which is generally freely available for any computer. You don't have to pay for it. You should be able to download it and have a go programming. So what we're going to start by thinking about is the Hello World program. And so maybe it's actually worth starting by thinking about what a program is. A program is a set of instructions which tell the computer what you want it to do. And in this case, what we want it to do is to print on the screen a message to say hello world. Okay, so the first part of the program might be something like this. Hash, and then immediately after it, written in lowercase letters, hash include /fun standard io dot h, just like. And what that does is it tells the computer to load a library which has the standard instruction. I have a couple of instructions at the moment, but that's something you generally need to have at the top of your programs. Now in C, when a program starts, it starts with something called main. Now, int main, open brackets, close brackets, and then we have a curly bracket here. Now, what this means is that we have a function called main, which is going to return an integer value, and we're not sending it any information. And in main, we're just going to have a couple of instructions. We have an instruction which is print f open bracket open quotes so world backslash and an n, close double quotes, close for brackets, add a semicolon. So that's one instruction. I'm going to have another instruction a bit lower down. Just return 0, again with a semicolon after it. And then we're going to have some closing curly brackets. So, okay, so this is a simple program. So what happens here is this command printf is telling the computer you want to print something on the screen, and what it's going to print is this message under here, which is hello world. Now it prints the text, it prints an HELLO and then a space and then WORLD, but we've got a special thing here which is this backslash character, and that tells the computer that there's something different going to come along afterwards. And it turns out that backslash n, instead of printing a backslash and an n, it tells the computer we want to print a new line, so that it'll print hello world and then go on to the next line. So that's all we want this program to do, to print a message on the screen. And so once we've done the print statement, we're ready to finish up with a return statement that tells the computer that it's time to stop, and we return a value. In this case, we're going to return 0. Now we return 0 because we've got an integer here. What this means there is that the program, or rather the routine main, is going to return an integer. int means integer. Now a couple of other things just to highlight. Inside these curly brackets here is the routine main. So these curly brackets define where main is at. And after every single statement, you have these semicolons. So that's something which you always have in C. Any statement needs to have a semicolon after it, except for things like this hash include the library, and here where we have the statement introducing main. That doesn't need a semicolon, but most statements will need semicolons after. Okay, I think there's a couple more things to say about this. One thing is that we can put comments in to the program. So whenever you're writing a program, it's helpful to describe what's happening with some English, with some comments. So we could put a comment in here, /* end of program, * /. Now that's one way of writing a comment. Now when the computer sees that, it ignores it, but it's useful just to explain what's happening in the program. Now this program's so short it's not really necessary, but I popped it in there anyway. Now the next thing that we could do, we could also put in a comment like this, which is with 2 / like that, and then put a comment in like print to screen. And because we have 2 lines like that, it means that all of the rest of that line is ignored. So all of the rest of this is ignored by the computer, but then it will start looking again. Notice with this other way of writing a comment, have the /* and the / at the end. So actually you could have a comment going on for a while. Now one thing I'm going to mention here is that when you write a longer program, and when you're trying to make it work, when you're trying to make sure that everything is working fine, you may want to try and work on just one part of the code. or to take out some part of the code. And it's very handy to be able to put comments into the code. So for example, if I put 2 lines here, oops, wrong color, I put them here like so, then that would mean that I've commented out the printf line, and when we run the program, it will ignore the command to print hello world on the screen. It won't do anything. But if we take that away, then take that away, good, right. Then we can put it back in again, and then it should start working. So it's a very handy technique for putting bits of your code into the program and taking them out without having to actually delete a whole line. If something's not working properly and you've just added a whole lot of stuff to your program, then you can comment out bits. Okay, well, I think I'm going to end this here, but just want to again summarize. This is a Hello World program. We start off by saying what libraries we want to have. A program will start with a function called main, which is defined here, and main runs from this curly bracket to this curly bracket, and we put all the instructions in here, and we are printing to the screen, and then return tells the computer, okay, it's time to stop and go back to whatever it was doing before.